Welcome, everyone. Our live is set to happen in the next 13 minutes. 3 minutes. Yeah. Good morning, Daniel. How are you doing? Hmm, That's good. Good morning, Peculiar. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my God, don't make me laugh. Thank you, Peculiar. James, you're welcome to the live. So, guys, I think we are going to give 5 to 10 minutes for others to join. But before that, I hope you are seeing my screen. Welcome, guys. Welcome to today's section. Hope you are all happy. Today's session is the almighty JavaScript. So tell everyone, tell somebody to tell somebody that we are live. We're live. Tell them to join. Call your friends if you have their number. We are just four here. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Welcome, Mary, Emmanuel. Yes, keep the stars coming. Keep the emoji coming. I hope you all did your assignments. I saw a whole lot of assignments. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, guys. Kufoji. Where are you from? Sorry if I mispronounce your name, guys. Eleni Amuyala. I hope I pronounced it right. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Okay, we have just 8 minutes or thereabout to wait for the rest before we start this live, before we start the class. Tell your friend to tell your friend. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Don't worry, on our seminar, when we'll be doing our seminar for the LinkedIn optimization class, a whole lot of you will have time to talk live and then pronounce your names to others that cannot pronounce it very well. Yes. So then we can talk more and we can pronounce our names. Hello, Mochewi Asafa. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Welcome to today's session. Today we're going to be talking about JavaScript before we go back to the main front end framework. That when you call front end, people will say this is the front end framework. So I think we're going to talk about JavaScript today, but if you're not able, and I don't think we can be able to cover up everything we have on JavaScript, but if we are going to extend the JavaScript class, I'll let you know, or I will give you guys resources later during the day to go and check, because even the slide I did it doesn't have all that it is in JavaScript. You all know that JavaScript is broad. Even if you're learning JavaScript for the first time, know it now that JavaScript is a very, very broad language. I guess that was why they decided to partition it into frameworks, because if you were to put everything together, I don't think it would be nice. So please, can you see my screen? While we wait for others to join, let me know if you can see my screen. Oh, that's good. How many of you were in the previous class, the class we had on Saturday? Were you in the Great, that's good. Thank you. Were you in the class we had on Saturday? We had two classes on Saturday. We had the HTML and CSS class, and we also had the back end class, which they taught um, Node.js. So, how many of you, be sincere, and tell me how many of you participated on Saturday? Yeah, definitely peculiar, you did. Oh, that's good. So, which one are you going for? Amunyala, which one are you going for? You participated in the two classes. Are you going for the front end track or are you going for the back end? Okay, I think we have just 4 minutes left. Tell others to join. Are we increasing or are we? Oh, good. Hope you all did your assignments, because that's the way we are going to rate you. And if you qualify for 80% attendance, then you'll be sure of a certification after this bootcamp. But if you don't, we are sorry to inform you that there will be no certification for you. And also, the best amongst you in the assignments will have to work with us full time if they are willing. Except they're not willing, we keep picking from those who are available. Are going to join us in our team in SpreadTech Africa. We have a whole lot of vacancies. And even though we are filled up and you see that you did very great, we're going to make sure that we pair you with a company or a community or a startup that you can intern in. and practice what you've learned and further develop your skills. Okay, I am feeling like I need to just start this session because I don't know if others are going to join. Is it too early? What do you think? Do you think 10 a.m.? I think this time is perfect for me. But since others are not joining, it's just of us or thereabout here. You think we started these sessions too early on weekdays? Let me know what you think on the comment section. Anyway, I won't get all the feedback here because you people that join now is to show that you are less busy by this time in Nigeria. James, you said the time is okay for you. Okay. Mm. I'm not talking about the rain. I'm talking about the timing. Let's stick to this time. Maybe in our next class, if we don't see improvement, we might look for better alternative. Or you might talk to the community manager on the community group about your timing. But as long as you're here, that shows that this timing is good. It works for you. Okay. Maybe next boot camp, because we will be having boot camps maybe three times in a year. That's or four times every quarter. We will know what to do about the timing. Or maybe we'll have two sessions, morning and evening. But before without wasting much time, let's go straight into JavaScript. So we're gonna breeze into JavaScript for you to have understanding. Let me know people who have understanding of JavaScript previously, who previously have knowledge of JavaScript in the comment section. Maybe we'll give you the mic to teach us this class. So I know how deep I'm going to be explaining. Okay, while I wait for that, let's go into what JavaScript is. So it says here in the slide that JavaScript is an object-oriented scripting language that you can use in different platforms within host environments. That is the web browser. You may also use JavaScript to gain programmatic control over objects. So yeah, what this is trying to tell us here in a nutshell is that JavaScript here is an object-oriented scripting language that can be used in different platforms in terms of the web the web platform. You can use it in the web, you can use it for both web, you can use it for both mobile, you can also use it for gaming, if I'm not wrong. So there are different ways you can use JavaScript on different platforms. Why I said there are different ways you can use JavaScript on different platforms is that JavaScript has a whole lot of frameworks. I think JavaScript is the most used programming language now because it's quite easy to use other than other programming language. It's not that it's simple, no, but comparing it to other programming language, JavaScript is, I would say, the simplest, or I would say PHP and C sharp is quite simple, but JavaScript is simple too. Yeah, it's learnable and it comes with a whole lot of frameworks that made it that broke it down in ways that you can use it in different platforms. just like it says here. You can use JavaScript has a framework called React Native that you can use to create mobile applications. That same JavaScript has framework called Node.js, which we were taught on Saturday. You can use it to create APIs for the back end, or it is called the server side. So back end development is also called server side um development. Okay, so in case you're going through and you hear server side, it's also on this um slide. Just know that we're talking about the back end. Yeah, so let me read through again. So it says this scripting language comes with a rich standard libraries. This library holds objects like maths, data, and array. We are still going to come to that in this lecture. And core language elements, e.g., just like statements, operators, control, structures, and so on. So yeah, while we progress on this lecture, you will get to know what math is, data is, and array is. You get to know more about that. Okay. It also talks about statements, talks about array. So keep cool. During the course of this lecture, you'll get more on what all those are. So it says here that there are two of the most popular variants of JavaScript. So JavaScript comes in two most important variants. It is not all the variants, it's the two most important, like I read here. And it's one number one is the server side JavaScript, while number two is the client side JavaScript. I would like to pause this lecture and ask you a question. There's server side JavaScript. I already told you. Now I already told you. So if you get it, just know that I already told you. So what do you think is server side JavaScript? And what do you think is a client side JavaScript? Quick, quick, quick. I don't want to waste any time. I just want to make this last lively. If you are following me, you know that I just said it now. I said this thing now. So what is a server side JavaScript? Don't write an episode for me. Don't write a long note. Just tell me, is in two words, this or this. Okay. So, do I have an attendance in this class? Okay, server side means backend. Yes, yes, yes. Client side, because I told you server side now. What is client side? I already told you what server side is. So if you get it, that means you were attentive. So those who didn't get it were not attentive. So yeah, we can still give you a plus because you're attentive. What did that person say? Say server side outside the browser. Oh my god. No, I'm not gonna laugh. I'm not laughing at you. Don't feel bad if you see me laughing or smiling. Okay, but keep answering, yeah, but definitely server side is not outside the browser. That just shows that you weren't really listening to what I just said a few minutes ago. The client side communicates direct to the user. I just need two words. It's in two words. Just like somebody just told me now. The first person that answered said server side is back end. That's just back end. That two word. I want it for client side. You that answered Kamoyela. You just answered one. Tell me what the other one is. You are winning. If I had a prize now, you are going to get it. Okay. I think you went to Google. Yeah. You went to Google. You just said it. You just answered it now. Client side might mean front end. Might. You're not sure. You're not sure. That means you. That means we can't take that answer. We can't take that answer. Welcome, Tiago. Welcome. We cannot take that answer because you answered it as if you were not sure. Someone, Nene answered. She said client side is front end, and that is absolutely correct. She was sure of what she's answering. Sorry, guys, I can't call all your names and say I hope a whole lot of you got it right, and some other people got it didn't get it well. I think you corrected yourself here. Okay, you corrected yourself because you're the first person that said client side communicates direct to the user. It does, but that wasn't that's actually true. But in terms of the answer I wanted, that wasn't it. And you later corrected yourself and you did get it right. So yeah, wherever you are, I don't know what I should tell you to clap for yourself. They do that for kids, right? But yeah, you are doing great and I'm glad you understand what it is and you are following me. Okay, let's read it out here what it is. So they said server-side JavaScript. This variant is designed to help programmers run JavaScript on web server. For instance, server-side extensions help applications to interact with databases, conduct file changes, and provide a continuous flow of information. Okay, before I read what client side is, I would like to break this down for you. So what it's saying here in a nutshell is the server side, right? It's it communicates with databases. I don't know if you know what databases is. And they also said it conducts file changes and provide a continuous flow of information. So what this actually means in a nutshell is um database, right? Database is where data are being stored. Like, let's say for instance now you want to create an e-commerce website where yeah, client side is the front end and it communicates directly to the user. So what back end is, back end is the opposite of client of front end. That's to say client side is the opposite of server side. Just as she said that client side communicate directly to the user, that's the same way you can also say that server side does not communicate directly to the user. The name, as name implied, client side front end, server side back end. That is what's the engine that is powering the front end. In a layman explanation, I'll call it the engine that powers the front end. And this engine in is no like in JavaScript, right? The engine for us is Node.js. That is what we use for our server side in JavaScript. Okay, we can also use other languages, but for what we are learning here and on this bootcamp, we are focusing on JavaScript and its family members. Yeah, JavaScript and its frameworks. So JavaScript has both client-side framework, which is front end, and JavaScript also have server-side framework, which is the back end. So our back end is the Node.js, which you are being taught on Saturday, and this client side is front end. It's quite long. It's quite there's a whole lot of steps you need to take before you finally land to the particular um language you're going to be the particular framework you're going to be using for the client side. Okay, because you need to have basic understanding of the grassroots of the client side, which was why I took you from HTML and CSS, gave you a homework to have better understanding, and I'm bringing you to JavaScript. If you don't have prior knowledge of these steps, when you learn the main framework, which is the React.js or Angular or Vue for the front end, you might crash or you might not understand anymore. But coming from this place gives you a step-by-step understanding. And before for me not to digress on what I'm trying to explain here, I'm trying to tell you that this database are the back end and they are what communicates to the front end. Database is just like a storehouse in a layman understanding where you store people's information. Just like I said, an e-commerce website. When you go to an e-commerce website, right, and you let's say you log in, fill in your details, your name, your number, your address, your country code, your country address, and everything, right? And you click on login. When it logs you in, right, those data you provided, those your name, your street address, your country code, your zip code, for your country zip code, and everything that you provided is going to be stored on the database. And this database is part of the server side, and the server side is called backend. That means the database is the backend and it is the server side. Okay, so let me read it again. Let me read it again and see if it can ring a bell to you guys. So it says these variants, that's to say of this particular part of JavaScript is designed to help programmers, which is you and me, or you that is upcoming, to run JavaScript on web server. Okay, it helps run JavaScript on web server. And for instance, side extension helps applications to interact with database, okay, and conduct file changes. Yeah, file changes. What you, maybe let's say on your Amazon website, you click on another page, it now takes you there, and you see a whole new information, a whole new data. All these are files, like there are files being changed, that like it's like you're changing files on the back end. Yeah, it conducts file changes and provide a continuous flow of information. That's to It continuously makes your website flow. Okay, so if you have an e-commerce website, big e-commerce website, and you don't have a back end, or your back end or your server side is having issues, then the applications will not move smoothly. It will not flow. The information will not flow very well. And yeah, that is what causes most times when you are on a website, it tends to take so much time to load, and then it wastes your time or waste your data and the rest of them. Okay, so I hope you guys get me. Yeah, there will be notes for this. Definitely. After the class, you're gonna get notes. So let's go to what server side is, what client side is. Sorry, it says this form of JavaScript is created for browsers, okay, and their respective DOM. DOM here means document object model. Don't mind all this big grammar. As we progress, you are going to see what all these are. When we get to the React, the main class of front end, we are going to do a whole lot of practicals. Yeah, so you're going to know what the DOM is and everything. But in a nutshell, yeah, the full meaning of DOM is document object model. So it says, let me come again. It says client side JavaScript. This form of JavaScript is created for browsers and their respective DOM. For instance, client side JavaScript helps applications to save elements in an HTML document and react to users' actions, e.g., form input, mouse click, page navigation. Yeah, so this is actually self-explanatory, but I'm going to still explain it to you. So what it's saying here is that the client side JavaScript, just as Walker said in the comment section, I don't know if I get that name right, interacts directly to the user. It is what you see on your browser when you click on a website, or when you paste the link of a website on your browser. The first thing you see is what a client side has produced for you. Okay, so let's say we go to, what site now are we going to go to? Let's go to any site, like this thing I have saved here. Oh no, let me just go to okay. So yeah, this is Amazon. So this interface you're seeing here, all this interface you're seeing here, all this Amazon, blah blah blah, cart, orders, hello, your name and all that, all these items, all these things you're seeing here are what your client side provided for you, are what was done in the client side, which is the front end. Okay, let me go back and read this again. It says This form of JavaScript is created for browsers. This is the browser here. This is our browser. All this here is our browser. It's created for the browser and their respective DOM. Okay, DOM will be explained in details more, but what DOM here means is document object model. For instance, client side JavaScript helps application to save elements in an HTML document. Remember what I said on Saturday? If you were here with me on Saturday, I said without HTML, without HTML in quotes, there will be no server side, there will be no front end, there will be no websites. All the websites you see online today was created with HTML. It has HTML in it, be it Python, be it Java, be it C sharp, any website that any language that was used to create that website also invited HTML into it. If not, nothing will show on your screen. Then CSS now came after to help design, put color, put interactivity, put and beautify HTML. Okay, so that is what all this is. This was designed with HTML. This is the client side. So yeah, I believe you all understand that. So let's go to the next slide. So here we are going to discuss the difference between JavaScript and Java language. Most people, especially beginners, confuse JavaScript for Java, but they are two different programming languages. Okay, before I go, let me pause and see what you have coming here. What are they saying? Client side front end, see your screen. Oh, you can't see my screen? Okay, can't see my screen. Why can't you see my screen? Can you see it now? Um, this is a network interruption. I will stop sharing it and share it now. Let me share it again. I just shared it again. Exercise patience, okay? It will come up just like it did on Saturday. I think it's work. Okay. One can see my screen. Okay, you guys can see my screen now. That's good. So, do you have any question for what I just taught now about? You guys have any question? If you have any question, drop it on the chat session. Why I con- Okay. So we are talking about the difference between JavaScript and Java programming language. Like I said, most beginners confuse JavaScript to Java. I don't know, maybe because it started with Java. Okay, it's very easy to confuse them, but they are two total different language. Okay, so Java and JavaScript are two different programming language. JavaScript have some similarities with Java, e.g., naming convention, expression syntax, control flow constructs, etc. However, it doesn't have two of Java's distinctive characteristics, which is powerful type checking. I think this is a that's a typo. Powerful type checking. So Java has a powerful type checking, and JavaScript have a static type checking. Okay, so we're going to look at that in more details. But just know here that JavaScript and Java are two totally different language. So JavaScript and Java. Yeah, like I already said. At this point, let's discuss the main difference between these two programming language. The piece of information will help you in improving your knowledge about JavaScript and general programming in a nutshell. So yeah, JavaScript, it says, is a free form computer language. When using JavaScript, you don't have to declare all of the method, classes, and variables. You don't have to worry about types of method that you will use, whether they are private, public, or protected. Additionally, you don't have to implement any interface for JavaScript. Okay, what this is trying to let me read everything so before I explain. So Java, this class-based computer language is created for type it's created for type safety and quick information. This means that you have to use classes and their respective methods to create your programs. Java data typing and class inheritance require strict object and simply put, and JavaScript language is more complicated. Java language is more complicated than JavaScript. So Java language is one of the ancient languages. I think Java and C++ were one of the first programming languages. So they are very, very strict in their typing. They are very, very strict. In what typing means is in their syntax. Like we said on Saturday, what syntax is for Java, for HTML and CSS. That is the div, the H1 tag, the P tag, and the rest of them. So JavaScript also has its own syntax. Java, on the other hand, also has its own syntax. But Java is trying to let us understand here that Java typing is very strict. That is to say, if you are typing something in Java, and let's say you not close a braces. Okay, let's do some. Let's go to this place now. No, no, no. This is not where I want to go to. Where is the VS Code? So let's say this is not their syntax. This is not their syntax here, but just the way when you write a styling in CSS, you don't close it. It will flag an error. You see it to tell you that there is colon, colon is expected and all that. That is the way, in a nutshell, this is trying to explain to you what Java does. You cannot write a Java syntax and not close it, or not do the indentation very well. It will flag you. It will provide errors. But in some part of JavaScript, when you're writing JavaScript, you might leave some things behind and then your code will still run. That does not mean, I'm not telling you this to make you be careless when you're writing a JavaScript code. No. When you're writing a JavaScript code, make sure you have everything intact, like your indentation. You put comma where comma is supposed to be, you put column where column is supposed to be. Okay, but what this is trying to tell us here is that Java is more strict in its typing. It's more strict in running. It's more strict than JavaScript. It's just like, let me use an example of this generation and let's say the generation of our parents. You all know that during our parents' generation, their training were more strict than the one we have now. Okay, this Gen Z body generation, they have a whole lot of things that parents allow the kids to do. They give them, they just look, they like out, they don't look at them when they, how do I speak this now? Like they overlook, yeah, overlook is the right word. They overlook some of your behaviors that during their own time, their parents were more strict with them. Okay, so it's just the same thing with Java. Because Java is an old boy in the block, it has strict rules. It has strict rules like your parents' generation. And because Java is the new kid in the block, it's more like the Gen Z body generation that we are now. So that made me laugh. So yeah, I don't know if you guys understand. So that is what it is. I'm going to give you this slide, and you are going to go on your own and research more on this. Okay, without wasting much time, let's come back to our JavaScript language that we are learning for the day. So the basic elements of the JavaScript language. So JavaScript has elements, okay? So in this chapter, you will learn about JavaScript grammar, variables, data types, and constant literals. General information here is that the syntax of this programming language is similar to that of Java, Python. Okay, he's trying to tell you that I don't know this first two, this AWK, Aqua and Apparel, is those are the ancient languages. Those ones I don't even sure system uses it now. The system that uses it now, I don't even know if they still exist. So you can still see systems and companies and um, websites that use Java and Python, but I'm not sure this other two, this first two, you can see people that use it now. Maybe there might be few, but yeah, it's trying to tell us here that the syntax of JavaScript is similar to them. So additionally, it is case sensitive and utilizes Unicode characters. Okay, when using JavaScript, programmers refers to computer instruction as statements. You should separate statements using a semicolon. JavaScript also supports white spaces. That's tab, space, and new line. Okay, so when you're coding, when you're writing your code, JavaScript encourages you to keep spaces in between. Like when you write a word, there should be a space. After you finish writing a line, you can keep a new line, which is a white space, and continue writing. But I don't think most languages like Java or Python accepts that, especially Java accepts you to put spaces in between lines. It might throw error because of that space that you kept there. But JavaScript accepts that. That was why initially it told us that JavaScript is similar, their syntax, which is the way you write them, is similar to the way you also write Java and Python. But in this case, JavaScript is is more polite, it's more free. When you with spaces, you can do some other things, like you can put spaces, make your work neat, and put white like a line, just like when you're writing a note, you jump a line and do another line, and then just to make your note look clean and readable. The JavaScript encourages that. Yeah. So the JavaScript compiler scans source code from left to right and converts them into group of input objects. Comments, white space, tokens, line terminators, and control characters. Okay, yeah, what it's trying to say here in nutshell is after writing your JavaScript, there is what they call a JavaScript compiler. Okay, that's what they call a JavaScript compiler. That when you write your JavaScript this way, when you're done and you run it, it compiles it scans it, compiles it into a whole new type of character that is readable by the engine or the machine. Okay, so what I'm trying to explain here in a nutshell is that when you, even though JavaScript is a new kid in the block, when you finish writing it, it still needs a compiler to compile it like their Java, like their Python, so it will run. If you don't, if it doesn't compile it, then your JavaScript will not run. Okay, so it still needs something to still compile it to look like the old guys before it runs. Okay, I'll leave that explanation here. I believe you understand it. So the basic elements of JavaScript still. So in this chapter, you will learn about JavaScript grammar. Okay, this is what I just read. I think it was two. Made it two. Okay. Sorry, that was an error. Okay. So We have comments. You all know comments. Comments are also some of the basic elements of JavaScript language. I taught what comments are on Saturday. Every programming language or mock-up language uses what they call comments. Okay. Um let me see. Let me go to VS Code. Show you something. Okay. Something like this now. Oh, sorry. I think HTML comment is different from that of JavaScript. Okay, this is a comment. This code now has been commented out, but this is not a JavaScript code. Oh. Let's create a JavaScript file. Who can tell me just the way HTML ended with index.html and CSS ended with CSS? What is the extension for JavaScript? Let me see people who knows JavaScript here. Hey guys, I just asked a question. If you look at this code, if you look at the code editor here on the file, when we created a file for HTML, we saved it with a .html, which is the file extension. We also saved that of CSS with CSS, style.css. What do you think? Peculiar, don't answer this question. Don't even though you don't know, just keep quiet. What do you think is the I think peculiar shouldn't, and also that Nene, you shouldn't answer it. What do you think is the extension for JavaScript? Ah, a whole lot of people knows it. Oh, you guys are not peculiar. I said you shouldn't answer this. You guys are not small boys, so I guess I will invite you to teach us. That's good. I like that. I like that. Yeah, that is JS. Text of JS. Beautiful, beautiful one here, guys. Thank you. So yeah, let's create a JS JavaScript file. Okay. Let me spell it again. So if you have script.js, know that this file is a JavaScript file. You can even see here it wrote JS. Okay. So let's partition this and let me show you. Let's do what we have here on comments. What comments are? So this right here, don't worry, let's leave it. When we go into variables, JavaScript variables, when we write a variable, we can now comment it out. But yeah, comments is very easy, you know it already. JavaScript comment is, if you want to comment in JavaScript, you use two strokes. Okay, you can also use two strokes, or you use one stroke and an asterisk, the star key. Okay, but if you are doing that for what they call it, if you're doing that for HTML, you see how I commented this CSS file here. Okay, you can just do only one slash and two asterisks, and your HTML file, your CSS file is commented already. But it's telling us here that this is the way to comment a JavaScript file. It's already on this diagram, and it is very important to also note that JavaScript does not support nested comments. Okay, comment placed inside another comment. Okay, let's say after you comment, when you comment something, you now go and place it inside another comment. It doesn't support it. You all know what nesting is. So it's trying to tell us here that JavaScript doesn't support that. Comment is self-explanatory and it's easy. Let's not waste time on it and let's move to JavaScript declarations. So JavaScript programming language supports three types of declarations, which is the var, the let, and the const. When you are writing a JavaScript code, right, there is what they call declarations. You use it to highlight, let me use the word highlight keywords, or better still, highlight objects, or highlight um words, yeah, on your I don't want to be calling variables and all that. I know that some of you know it, but I still just want to make it as simple as possible because I know that some people here don't also know it. So let's use layman words. If you know it, fine and good. If you don't know it, these are the way you can catch it. Okay. So the first one here they say is the var declaration. Using this declaration to create a new variable during the declaration, sorry, let me see. Using this declaration to create a new variable during the declaration, you assign a value to a variable. Okay, let's say now, okay, don't worry, we're getting there. The let's declaration allows you to create a local variable. You may place a value on the variable during the declaration phase. Okay, use this the const. This declaration is used to create a constant. Constants are read on, change their value after the declaration. Okay, so what is all these things, these variables, this let, var, const, they almost do the same thing. They are almost here to do the same thing. Okay, but when you declare your variable, or let's say when you declare your words with a var or a let or a const, let's say you declare when you declare your statement or whatever with var, okay, you can be able to still change it. You can still be able, let's say you say, okay, let me do something now. On your code, right, when you're writing a code and you come here and you say var name is equal to, it's equals to Chinwe, right? This is this is a declaration. Okay, this is a declaration, and you are using var here to declare it. You are using var to declare that the name is Chinwe. Okay, you can still do the same thing for let. You can still say let name equals to, let's say, joy. You are still declaring name as joy. You can also still use const name okay. So all these things can be used as a declaration on your code, but they vary a little. They have slight differences. When you are using a constant now, if you use a constant to declare a to declare um a statement on your code, right? You cannot be able to change. You cannot be able to change what that constant is. in that code, not in the let's say in that function. Maybe let's say you have a function now, and you now say const name is equals to Joe. That means throughout that function, whenever you see a name, whenever name is being called, know that they're talking about Joe. Okay. But on the other hand, you can use let to declare, to do a declaration, and it can be changed in it can be changed at some point in the code. Okay. So let's say now we say let name be Joy. Inside that code or inside that function, you can still come and say again that name is equals to peace. Name, we are assigning name to peculiar. Okay. Or we are assigning name to Nene. Okay. You can still do that, and there will not be any issue, there will not be any error on your code. Yeah. Just like the name implies, you get, const means constant. This is a constant variable for this value. The constant value for this value is Joe. And Joe, whenever you call name, know that what is going to appear here is Joe. Why? Because you declared it with const. Okay. That is why it's telling us here that JavaScript declarations, these are JavaScript declarations. When you declare your variable or your value with a constant, know that that constant is what it is going to be throughout that code or throughout that file. But when you declare it, when you do a declaration with let, that you have leverage to change it at some point in your code. Also, when you do that with var, you change. I think var has its own rules, but I really can't remember that for now. I think var and let works similarly. They works they are both of them are similar, but const is quite different. It's when you're trying to declare a constant value that you don't want this value to change anywhere in your code. So you know that once I've declared it with constant, it cannot change. Wherever you see name in my code, I want it to know that I want it to be a Joe. I want it to be a piece. I want it to be a peculiar. So nothing should change it. Okay. That is why I'm declaring it with a constant keyword. Okay. So that is what it is. So it's further came here to explain what a var declaration is. So it says here, and I read, it says that you can replace var name with any valid identifier. This is what I just said now. I told you that var and let are similar. You can replace var name, there's supposed to be a space here. You can replace var name with any valid identifier. So JavaScript has reserved keywords. It has reserved keywords, words that cannot be used in naming variables, constant, objects, and so on. You will also learn about this keyword later. So this is a little bit digressing out of the explanation I'm giving, but it's just trying to tell us here that JavaScript has keywords that you can never use them to declare a variable on your code. Okay, and some of these keywords is that you cannot say var constant, you cannot say var object. It's going to flag you, it's going to show you an error. These are keywords, inbuilt JavaScript keywords, and you cannot use them to declare a variable. Like here now, you can use name, you can say var name, you can say var goat, you can say var anything, but don't use JavaScript inbuilt naming variables. Like some of the JavaScript inbuilt naming variables here are constant, object. I think you cannot also use string. That's what it's called, string. We're getting them. You cannot use boolean. You cannot use name. Sorry, I said name. You cannot use math. All these are inbuilt JavaScript variables. So they're just giving you a warning here that you cannot use them to declare a variable, just the way we use name here to declare. We cannot use this JavaScript inbuilt naming variables to do that here. Okay. So in this context, value represents the value of the variable. You may replace it with any valid JavaScript extension. So what it's trying to say here in a nutshell is um, when you come here, right? This right here, let me keep all this right here. Let me comment this out. So let's test that our commenting we just learned. You can see that this has commented out. So even if you run this code, know that this is not going to show. This is not going to work. Okay. So this is what we just learned. You know, I told you previously that when we get to writing variables and the rest of them, we're going to test what comments are. And you can see here, this is how to comment a code that you don't want to show when you run your code base. You don't want this thing to show. This is how to comment it out. You can also use, I think you can also use an asterisk. When we looked at it, they also showed us that you can also use asterisks. Okay, yeah, these are the two type of commenting that is in JavaScript. Yeah, so this is it. I think this one, when you use this one that has slash asterisk, you have to cover it back. You have to close it. It needs an opening and closing tag. You see, right? When we didn't close it, it was flagging an error, telling us that it needs a closing tag is expected. So they call it tags, closing tags. And when you see me talk about closing tags or anything tag, when I talk about um an inbuilt way to do something. Okay, so this right here is demanding for us to close it. Sorry, that was why it stopped flashing that error. But I prefer this one. I prefer this double slash. Here, you don't need to close anything. So this is what commenting that we looked at before. This is what it is. So what I want to show you guys here is what this I want to show you this explanation here, this line of explanation. I want to show you what it is. So let me read it again. It says in this syntax, value represents the value of the variable. You may replace it with any valid JavaScript extension. I'm going to throw a question now, okay? On this line of code here, I hope I'm not too fast. Guys, I hope I'm not too fast. Let me see what you're saying here in the comment section. Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad. I hope this yes is for the question I just asked. Because I just asked if I am not too fast. Somebody dropped yes. I don't know if that yes has been there before. I need more yes to know that I'm not too fast and to know that I can carry on. Because I want to throw a question to you guys now. Okay? When you look at this line of code here, right? Between name and Chinwe in quotes, which one do you think is a variable? And which one of them do you think is a value? Answer in on the comment section, please. Thank you. You see, I'm not that fast. Okay, I'm not too fast. So I just threw the question now. If you look at this line of code here, right? Var name is equals to Chinwe. Between name and Chinwe, which one of them do you think is a variable? Which one of them do you think is a value? Let's go, guys. Just 2 seconds or 2 minutes. Not for my hands, so you guys are already doing nice on this live, even though you're not much. Okay, name is the variable and Chinwe is the value. Correct, 100% correct, 100% correct. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. That is very, very good. I have sharp people on this live. I think our next class, I might just hang up and you guys just perfect. So I don't even need to waste my time explaining here because I was thinking of how to break it down. But I have JavaScript experts here, so thank God I don't need to waste my time. I don't need to. Yeah, just like you said, name is a variable. It's already here already. var. The full meaning of var is variable. So name is the variable, while Chinwe is the value. So the value of this name now is variable. Here we are assigning what this means, what this statement means in a nutshell. If our name is equal to Chinwe, equals here, this equal to here means we are saying that we are assigning Chinwe to name. Okay? If it was double equals now, it still also means almost the same thing. It almost means the same thing, but you're still trying to say that name is equal to Chinwe, okay? But at some point, when we are doing the JavaScript lecture, you will further understand the difference between all these assignments. Assignments we have here. We have one assignment, we have two, we have three. It ends at three. You will know their differences and where to use them. For now, let's just stick with one, which is equal to, and that means assignment. You're trying to assign this name to this value. Okay, let's quickly go back to it. So I'm glad people know what it is here. So still talking about var declaration. Var, which is one of the JavaScript declarations. Okay, it says how it works. Okay, this syntax, um, this is the syntax. This is trying to touch. This is what we've already done, but we're trying to use another different code to explain it. It says here that var var name. Why are they using var name here? It's not nice, making it sound similar. So let's just use var name is equal to value one. Var name is equal to value two. You just try to like show you in a nutshell how to assign variables. Yeah, so it's almost what we just talked about. So it says here that the JavaScript interpreter prioritizes variable declaration over any type of code. The variable scope declared through var serves as its action extension context, either local or global. Okay? If you will assign a value to a variable that you haven't declared yet, you will get a global variable. That is a variable that can be assigned at any part of your program. Here are the major differences between a declared variable and an undeclared variable. Okay. Um okay, let me go back to explain what that means. Still talks about what we already talked about here. But there's something that is called a global and a local variable. A global variable declaration and a local variable declaration. Okay. Um, when you have a code, right? There are two ways to explain it, but I'm going to explain one of it. When you have a code base, right, and you come on top of your code base like this, and you say var name is equals to Chinwe, okay, and you further write um you start writing other things you want to do. You can still also say, let's say function. It's a question. Okay. Okay, saying that I have to put a value for the function. Let me put it in quotes. I don't know why this guy is flashing an error anyway. Okay. I just want to explain something to you quickly. When you come here, right, this right here is a global declaration. So here you are, let me remove this name I have here. No, no, it's not necessary. When you declare something at the very top of your code base, and you start writing other codes, okay, you can call this name, this declaration, in any part of your code, and it will come in, and it let me say it will answer you. It will bring out the value. You can say, you can call name in any part of the code, and it will show you what the value of name is, which is chinwe. Okay, that means you have declared this variable globally. You can have multiple functions now. You can have function one. Sorry, I have to go online and see why this thing is flagging me. Let me see if I'm doing anything wrong, because I'm not supposed to be flagged. I'm not supposed to be having that red. Let's go to W3 school. See, when learning how to code, right, or when learning how to write code in nutshell, W3 school should be your best friend. W3 school has a whole lot of syntax explanation. If you're writing a code, if you're writing code on any programming language and you miss your way, you miss the syntax that you need to use. Let's say you're right, like you see now, I was writing function and it was flagging me. Then I went, see, it was showing me red that an identifier is expected. Do you know what that is? It means because I have written code in different programming language. I use C sharp, I use JavaScript, I use Python recently. Okay, all of them has different syntax. They are quite similar, but they have different ways to write them sometimes. So when you try to come back to another, to the one you left, let's say you were writing JavaScript before, and you now started learning Python, okay, and now you start learning C sharp. When you go back to JavaScript, right, you see that you're trying to use the syntax, which is the way you write Python for JavaScript, and you get to see your code will get to like flag you errors, or it gets to be like confusing sometimes. So where you need to go to, where I recommend you going to check if the syntax you're using is correct or not, is W3 school. W3 school is very good. Okay, W3 school have syntax or code for Python. It has for Java. It has for PHP. It has for it has for W3 CSS, C, C++, C sharp, Bootstrap, even languages that I don't even know exist. It has it. I don't know who built this tutorial base, but that person did a powerful job. Did a powerful job. Yeah. So My lights, this my screen will be a little bit dark in few minutes because my inverter is already showing me that it wants to go off. So in case my screen becomes dark, you manage it like that. Okay. So what I was going to check here was how to write function in JavaScript because I wrote a function and I was flagged. So what I missed here is the function name. Every function in JavaScript has a name. When you declare a function, you have to give it a name. If not, you begin to see errors. Let's copy what we have here self and just go and put it on the code. Let's give it a name. Let's say this is the name. You can see, right? Because I gave it a name now, that stop flagging. That error message has the identifier expected has left. And one thing again that I don't really like about JavaScript, but with time when you use it, you are going to overcome it. It's the error messages are not really clear like other programming language. Like I've written program in C sharp and Python. Their error messages are quite clearer than JavaScript, but that does not mean that they are easier than JavaScript. No, JavaScript just has to do better with saying what the errors are. If you're using C sharp, now it might just tell you name expected, function name expected. So you know that okay, I have to give my name a function a name. But JavaScript can just give you a whole thing altogether. But when you continue using it with time, you know that okay, this is what it's saying. Yeah. So you can see the difference between these two. The first one I didn't give a name is the first one I gave a name is now okay. The first this one I didn't give a name is still flagging. So let's just give it maybe let's give it X. Yeah. You can see that the error is gone. So what I was explaining before I started writing a function that made me to go to W3 school is I was going to tell you here what a global and a local variable is. A global variable is what the variable you declared in the beginning of your code. It might not really be the beginning, but you declared it at a part of your code where you now wrote the remaining part, the remaining code under it. So you can basically call this global variable that is declared here on on any of these functions, and it will answer you. You can call it here, it will answer you. You can call it here, it will answer you. Okay, but a local variable, yeah, is the one that you declared inside a function. Let's say you come to a particular function now and you say var name, or maybe var um, boy is equal to, it's not supposed to be equal to, I'm not supposed to be calling it equal to, I'm speaking it like a layman. What I'm supposed to say here is just say var boy is assigned, Joe is assigned to boy. Okay, so this right here is inside this function. You cannot call it here. You cannot call it inside this other function. Except you are trying to do what they call, there's something they call callback function and the rest. Those ones are senior. You're going to learn those ones in React, okay? But for now, local variable is something that you declare inside your function and it only runs inside that function. It cannot be used outside that function, or it cannot be called inside another function that is not that function. Okay, so yeah, that's what I'm trying to explain. Okay, let's go back to our slide. um let's go to what let declaration is. So let here, let me read what we have here. It says you may replace var with the name you would like to use for your variable. If you want to assign a value to the new variable, just replace var with the appropriate data. This thing is still talking about var. It's still talking about let. I think there's a little bit typo there. There's a type issue here. There's an error here. Okay, let me continue. It said if you use let, the variable that you would get would consider their container as their scope. Let in this aspect, let is similar to var. Yes, I told you already. I told you that let is similar to var. You can use let and var, and it's only const that is different. You can use let to do a declaration, and you can still change the value of that declaration inside your code. But when you use const, just know that you cannot do that. You already have a constant value there. Const declaration. So no need of going back and forth with let because it's just similar to var. Okay. So the const declaration, with this declaration, you can create a read-only reference to any value. Okay. Like I said, you can create when you create that value, know that that is what it is throughout the code. Basically, you can still edit these references whenever you need to. It's just that you won't be able to transfer or reassign them after the declaration phase. The syntax of this declaration, you cannot um um declare let and constant now, and you now want to you can change it oh, but that is when you go back to that global variable that is on top and change what you have there. But to say that you want to come inside your code or inside a function that you wrote and you want to make use of that variable name, and you want to start changing it can't work for const. Okay, let me read it again. It says here, it says, with this declaration, you can create a read-only reference to any value, read-only. Basically, you can still edit this reference whenever you need to. You can edit it or you can go back there and edit it. But it's just that you won't be able to transfer or reassign. You cannot reassign it. Let me reassign name to, I don't want it to be Chinwe again inside your code. Let me go and reassign it to Bola. It will not work. It will not work. Okay. Um, with this declaration, you can generate a constant, also known as literal, that can be either local or global. You can still make it local or global, like I showed you. This syntax given above requires an initializer. That means you that means you have to specify the variable's value at the time of declaration. Okay, that is another thing. You can read it up. So your first JavaScript app. This is your first JavaScript app. So you already have VS Code installed, right? I guess the backend developer taught you how to install VS Code. Yeah, Tiago, thank you for reiterating. Yeah, that is global we use for one function, while local we use for one function, while global we can use it in any part of the code. Beautiful. That's good. Um, what did I just say now? Okay. I talked about everybody here having VS and Visual Studio Code installed. That was the first thing I supposed to ask you at the beginning of this lecture. So do you have your Visual Studio Code installed? Guys, if you're with me, let me see an answer on the comment section. Do you now know how to install Visual Studio Code? Let me know. Because I need you guys to follow me now. While you answer that, let me quickly check something online. The back end guide tells us taught you guys. I was there. I was during his lecture when he was teaching you guys how to install VS Code, Visual Studio Code. So yes, guys. Okay. Yes, we have it installed. No, currently my PC is broken. Oh, what happened? Um. Okay. Some people are using other code editors. Hope you can use it very well. Hope you know how to use it to navigate. Hope you know how to. I encourage students to use the code editor that their instructor is using to teach them, except maybe you are using a protected PC and you don't want to, or maybe that you don't have enough space and you stick to the one you like. Okay, for me, when I'm learning on a video tutorial, I prefer using what that instructor is using because it helps me grab what he's saying and practice with him more efficiently. But that does not mean that you cannot use any code editor that you have. So those that does not have it installed, please, what is delaying it? This is the third class we are having. We had the first, and most of you joined the Node.js class. We have three classes now, and the second class was taught. So, Nene, why don't you have it installed? Do you have a PC? Okay, your laptop is down. Using the phone and trying. Okay, since your laptop is your laptop, if you say your laptop is down, does it mean that it is broken? It is not working, or it's just the battery life that is down? So I'm not going to waste time on that. You can go back to YouTube and check on the where the backend developer taught on how to install Node.js. Okay, doing that here is just like going back and forth. The the backend developer taught it, and the link to the backend class, I think the community manager is going to still post it on the group, so you can go and rewatch it. Okay, I encourage you and I advise you to watch these videos twice. Don't just watch it once. Go back and watch it again. Try and practice. I had some people were saying that the back end developer was quite fast. Yeah. You can also always go back and watch what he taught you and take notes. Try and practice it. I'm gonna post a video on this YouTube channel maybe later tomorrow, teaching you how to learn from a video tutorial. Yeah, that is a finding, something I have practiced and it worked for me. Okay, so I'm going to put it out here. I did a video on it, but I have not edited it. But I'm going to put it out here on this channel, and when I put it out here, I'm going to put the link on the group for everybody to watch. Watch how to learn from a video tutorial. Most people don't know how to learn from a live class or an online class. They tend to like they prefer to learn on a class that is one on one with the lecturer, or yeah, school setting. But I noticed that most people they don't grab enough when they're learning online. Okay, so that video I'm going to be posting very soon on this channel. It's going to teach you how to learn from an online class and also learn from a video tutorial that you're practicing on your own. Okay, without wasting much time, this right here is telling us that this is and we're trying to let's build our fourth app in JavaScript. Let's you will write your first application using JavaScript. This is simple. This is simple. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. You can get a sketch pad, like someone says she's trying to install a sketch pad. Code along. So what it says here is function greet me, your name, alert hello plus your name. then greet me world. Okay, so let's quickly do what we have here. If you have a code editor, you can code along. Okay, let's comment all this out. Oh no. Commenting of a code, learn how to comment or knowing commenting comes handy in a case like this where you don't just want to delete everything you have on your screen. Maybe you might refer to it later. You can just choose to comment it out. And let's do our first class, even though we've already gotten our hands dirty. But let's try and do what they say here. Sorry guys, sorry I'm yawning on this call. Ah, okay. In order for me not to be going back and forth, let me bring it here. So it says function. Also, there's something in JavaScript they call um naming convention. Okay, I don't think I have it here, but you can always read it up. Naming convention, how to name your values. Okay, I think they have camel case, they have I think they have snake case. This right here is what they call camel casing. Yeah, if I get that right, this is what they call camel casing. When you start your name with a small letter and the next word is gonna start with a capital letter. Okay, this is something you should also know. But since it's not here, I just want to draw your attention to it in case you see it somewhere. This is how to do naming in JavaScript and other programming language. So it says here that your name greets. I gave it a variable and came here. Okay, tab alert alert hello hello. Let's use double quote for this alert. You can use one quote, you can use double quote. But since we're doing from what we were trying to do exactly what we have on our screen, let's just follow them verbatim. Okay, your name. Okay, you now came here to call it. So when you write a function, right? Calling the function, this is what they call calling a function. This right here, greet world. This right here is what they say they call I'm calling a function. That means you're trying to call this function now. That's why you're calling the name of the function and you're passing in the value. Okay. So yeah, we have finished this. Let's put this one side and make this a bigger screen. Okay. Let me quickly hear from you guys. Um, this one, all of you don't have a good laptop. How are you practicing this? I think you can get a calculator from on your phone, but along the line when we're going to do the final project, I don't think a code editor from your phone can help you to progress. So But the most important thing is that you're getting knowledge, yeah. So if you don't get a certificate on this particular bootcamp, maybe the next one we're going to do, if you get your gadgets and everything available, you can maybe do everything. You can follow us, do our assignments, and also get a certificate. But for now, you can use whatever you're using. You can use your phone, or you can still borrow your laptop from your loved ones and still practice. Okay, so that shouldn't. The fact that you don't have a device or a laptop, or your laptop is bad, does not mean you shouldn't follow us on this program. Okay, we are looking forward to having programs, maybe during this and end of the year or early next year, where we get to like partner and get laptops to those who we know that their laptops are bad or don't even have laptops at all, because that's what we as SpreadTech Africa stands for. We are here to give the knowledge of technology to people in all part of Africa, most especially those in the rural area who doesn't have um, the means to learn tech. Okay, so along the line we're gonna at some point during this year we're gonna give a form where people are gonna fill and let us know if they have a laptop, and you have to be sincere. You have to be very sincere during that period. But that aside, let's um let's do our first app here. Okay, so these are the spaces. You know, when we're talking about some of the things that JavaScript allows that other languages really don't allow, like we read about spacing, inline spacing. This is one of them. You can give space. You cannot. Sometimes you get to see other language. You can just join them, everything up like this. But JavaScript encourages you to give inline spaces on your code. Okay, so that is it. And you can give spacing between your words. Okay, that is what makes JavaScript kind of different from other um, old programming languages. So this right here, let me quickly breeze through what this is. So this is a function declaration, and here the function name is greet me. The function name could be anything, okay? Like when we came here, we said the function name here is my function. While here, the function name is X. So when writing a function in JavaScript, it must have a name, okay? It must have a name. JavaScript, I said, not other programming language or not JavaScript framework. Okay, JavaScript framework might break it down to be more easier than when you're writing a function. You don't need to write a function name, but here in JavaScript, you have to have a function name. Okay, so on this our first app, let me even put it here. On this our first app, our function name here is greet me, and the value of the function here is still unknown. Okay, it is left for us to provide the value, but we are just keeping a name here. Your name is nothing. Your name is not a name. Okay, so you are just using this name, just like in mathematics when you're writing maths and you say find x, and you write all the math algorithm, and you finally land into finding what x is. Okay, that's what we are trying to do here. We're trying to say, okay, since name is not given, let's look for name. Let's pass in a name. In this place, in this term, we are not looking for name. We are passing in name. But in mathematics, it might be termed as look find x or find y or thereabouts. But here we are going to pass in the what your name is. Okay, so like I said, this is a function declaration, this is the function name, this is the function value. We're trying to use this to get the value, but in a not in a real sense, a value is what is supposed to be here. And this right here is one of JavaScript inbuilt function. Okay, that is what they call JavaScript inbuilt function. JavaScript has a lot of inbuilt function. Okay, that you can call on its own. I think one of them is it's map. They have a map inbuilt function. They have alert. They have slice, splash. I think along the line you get to see them one after the other. But this right here, alert, that you see here, is a JavaScript inbuilt function. Okay, so we are trying to say alert hello plus my name. Okay, this plus right here, they don't call it plus in JavaScript, they call it concatenation. I don't want to go deep into that, that's going to confuse you. Let's just stick to the basics, okay? But just know that this right here, you don't call it plus like you know it in mathematics. In JavaScript they call it concatenating, trying to bring together two words or two sentences together is called concatenation in JavaScript. Okay, so yeah, we're trying to say, okay, alert on the browser, hello, and what name is hello plus the name, and yeah, we are passing in what name is. So we are trying to say name, your name here is world. Okay, so let's see if we can run this code. Let's open our terminal. Java VS Code. I think why I love VS Code so much is that it has an inbuilt terminal. Most code editors doesn't have it. Okay, and that's why I like VS Code. Everything comes together, it comes packaged with a whole with everything you need, so it doesn't make you to start going from one place to another looking for or let's say on your laptop now, when you open a code editor, let's say you're using a notepad now to write this code. After writing notepad, you go and open your terminal to do it. They are in different places, but Visual Studio Code brought it together for us, which is why it's one of, to me, it's one of the best free code editors we have now. And mind you, this is not a promotion post, but this is just me giving a review on a code editor that I feel is best, and it is free. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if we can run this code, or mm, let's see if this helps us run this code. No script.js. Enter. Okay. Oh, I think we might have an error here because I don't have Node installed here. Oh, let me see. Sorry, guys. Let me run one or two and see why that is showing an error. But I think it's showing that error because I don't have Node.js installed, or better still, my Node.js is not activated. Okay, while I try to activate npm or my Node.js, let me know if you have any question on the comment section, please. Are you following through? Are you understanding what I am teaching? Yeah, Node dash V is when you want to check the version of your Node.js. Okay. Someone said they are doing it on their notes. Okay, guys, at this point of the class, are you following? Are you with me on this part of the class? Are you still following me? Are you still understanding? Let me know, let me know, let me know. While we wait for this to finish running. I guess it's gonna take some time, but then okay. Let me know. Okay, you're following. That's good. I'm glad that people are still following. Let me know. Don't hesitate to ask any question if you have. Okay? If you have any question, don't hesitate to ask. That is why we are here. And why I'm doing all these things live here is to show you that nobody's an island of knowledge. And when you're learning, or when you're practicing, or when you've eventually become a developer, the Google should be your best friend. Still have this error. Okay. Still, it's flagging my document that's right. Google should be your best friend. Okay, you know what, guys? Since they didn't even run it, we didn't get to run it here on our. I think I don't have Node installed. I'm trying to install that now. It's gonna give us. It's gonna take a whole lot of time, and we don't want that. But this is, in a nutshell, what this code is supposed to give you on your terminal or on your browser. Is supposed to tell you hello world. Okay, it's supposed to give you hello world because we found we've assigned world to your name. So when it brings it together, like I told you, concatenating is bringing two words together. When it brings the two words together, it is going to give you hello world. But I wanted us to see that on our terminal, but it seems I still need some configurations to get to that point. Okay, yeah. Okay, without wasting any more time, let me quickly go back to our slide. um Maybe on our React live class we're going to do more, practice more, and yeah. So this right here, I think I'm gonna be stopping this class here, but before then, these are the different data types in JavaScript. Okay, JavaScript data types. JavaScript has over eight. Is it up to eight? Seven. It should be up to eight. Yeah, I think some of them are not here. Data types. Okay, and yeah, it says here JavaScript or supports seven. Currently supports seven data types, but I know that with time more will be added. One of the data types of JavaScript is null. Another one is number. There is boolean. There is string. There is undefined. There is symbol. There is object. All these are JavaScript data types. And mind you, when you are declaring a variable like we just did, where we said var name is equals to Chinwe, when it further explained that there are some inbuilt JavaScript variables that you cannot use to declare you cannot use as a variable, you cannot use as a declaration like we use name, where he mentioned object, and I think he also mentioned one other word. I am saying this to let you also know that you cannot use these data types, these names here, to declare a variable. You cannot declare a variable and call it var null. It will throw an error. You cannot say var boolean. You cannot say var string. You cannot say var undefined. You cannot say var. I think you cannot say var symbol, and also you cannot say var object. Okay, so I'm just bringing your memory back to that place. You know, I told you when we get to JavaScript data types, I will show you further. Okay, let's read what we have here. It says that null. This is a keyword that denotes a null value. Since this computer language is case sensitive, null is different from null. Wow, it's trying to tell us here that null is different from capital letter null, okay, and other versions of the word. Okay, so number, you all know what number is. Number is number. Okay, there is number. That's why I was saying that. Why, you know why I was saying that? I think JavaScript has increased their. They still have another. Maybe they still have. Maybe they type is up to 8 or thereabout. Because I know there's a data type that's called number, and I think there's also a data type that's called float. Okay, but here it's put together. They are putting float and number together. Float is when you have a dot and then other values, other number follows. They call it floats. Okay, so a null here is mostly used when you're trying to write an error, when you're trying to um, declare, maybe you're writing your code and you're trying to use and put a case for error. Okay, when this code encounters this particular error, throw null. Okay, this is mostly used when you want to write an error code. Okay, null is mostly used when you want to write an error code. So yeah, there's number, there's boolean. Boolean has two possible value. It's called true or false. Whenever you see true or false, when you're trying to compare two things on your code base and you're using true or false, it is called boolean. Okay, so there is string. There is string. This type of data involve later. For example, hello. Okay, it's trying to tell us that this type of data type involves later. Okay, string is the one that you put in code like this. Like, let me go to this code now. This right here is inside a string. This is a string. A string could be double, could be one, like this. Get to say hello, or a string could be on a double quote. Could be hello on double quotes. Okay, okay. So this is string when you put a value in a quote, double or single quote. Okay, so that is it. That is what a string is. So let me take this out. Um, why is this thing going here? Okay, says then we have undefined. This type of data type is considered as a top level attribute for a program. This is also one of the top variables. You can use them to declare errors. You can use them to when you're trying to do when you're trying to compare two things together. You can use them. Okay, you can say if Bola is a boy, say yes. If she's not, throw undefined. Yeah, there are ways you use them on your code. Like they said here, is a top level attribute. So it's when you're writing expert codes most times that you get to use them. Okay, so there's another data type they call symbol. Most programmers don't use symbol. I think it's one of the data types that there's also a data type called object. Okay, object is programmers use this data type to hold information and instruction related to the handling and usage of data. So object is one of object. I think object, string, and number, and boolean is the most used data types. Okay, You use them at all every point in your code. Let me show you what an object looks like. I think it did show us here, but because the class will soon be going on, let me quickly show you. So your code, anyways. So instead of writing, when you write a function, you get to no um object doesn't have anything to do with function. So let's just quickly go and write an object. Hope this one is not going to show themselves here. Okay. Object also use what is called key value pair. Okay, it also use what they call key and value. Okay, it's, like when we were declaring a variable, we have variable and value. When you're using a JavaScript declaration here where we said that name is the variable, while chinwe is the value. Okay, in terms of JavaScript objects, name here is, don't know why it's canceling. Name here is the key. Okay, the key, while chinwe right here is the value. They call it key value pair. I think why it flagged name was because we've used name before. I really don't know why it's cancelled name. Okay, so that is it, guys. This is an object. This right here is a JavaScript object. Object is created with um curly braces. Okay, while the values comes inside the curly braces, and the value here is called, this right here, the one you're assigning chinwe to here is called the key, while chinwe is called the value. Okay, so that it is, that's what it is. Yeah, this is how to this is how to declare a variable. So guys, I'll give you this note to go back and study both the ones that was explained to you and the ones that were not explained. Yeah, if you have any question, you drop it on the comment section, while or when we meet on our next class, we'll address some of those questions. Okay, so I guess this is going to be um let me say this is going to be our last class in JavaScript. Okay, the next class we're going to be meeting on Saturday, so you have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to go read about JavaScript. I don't want to give you any assignments, so you can be so maybe it might make you distracted or make you focused on trying to like solve the assignment and not studying JavaScript. My take home assignment for you this 3 days is for you to read about JavaScript. And where do you read about JavaScript? Go to W3 School. Okay, if you look at the first note I gave to you, yeah, the first note I gave to you, I gave you two links where you can go back and further read. Okay, it's not spelled. Okay, sorry, where you can go back and further read about HTML and CSS. That same link applies to JavaScript. Okay, you can further go back and read about JavaScript in W3 School, just like I showed you in W3 School, on the dashboard, on the up bar, where you get to see different languages. It's just left for you to click on one of them and get reading. Okay, and also the other link I sent to you, I think they also has a JavaScript of it, inside that um website. So guys, this is to tell you, if you have any question, you can quickly ask me, because we just have, I think we only have 1 minute left. And yeah, I really want us to keep the time. When we say we are finishing in 2 hours, it should be 2 hours. So if you have any question concerning this lecture, drop it on the WhatsApp group. Okay? If you're having any question, make sure you drop it on the WhatsApp group. Don't sleep or stay with your question or your shite. No question is too small or no question is too basic to ask. Okay? So ask your question, and I'll be going through the chat group and checking your questions. Okay? Thank you so much, guys. You too. Have a blessed day too. Okay? Thank you for showing up. And I'm going to be dropping the note, link to this note. Let me quickly do that here. The link to this note will be on the chat. So in our next class, we are going to be going full time into React, and we're going to be building our first project in React, and also we're going to be having our take home assignment, or better still, our final project in React. And also, don't miss out on our webinars. We have webinars teaching you a whole lot on how to maximize, or better still, create a LinkedIn profile and use your LinkedIn to better make you visible in the job market. Okay, so this right here is me. Thank you too. I've dropped the link here to this document. You can copy it, or better still, I'm going to still drop it on our group here in the WhatsApp group. This right here is the document for the front end. Okay, go make sure you read on W3 School. This right here is just to put your mind, open your mind to learning. Okay, make you just have of what JavaScript is. But I bet you, if you don't go and learn it further, you might just forget all these things I've said here. Don't dwell only on this note, please. Do not dwell only on this note. This note is just a basic, teaching you the basics, touching in the basics. Okay, the W3 School, like I said, because I'm going to be asking questions in the next class, and it will make me know that you went to W3 School. So, without wasting any more time, thank you guys for attending the second class for the front end. Do well to also attend the back end lectures. Okay, I think the back end guy is more technical. Even though he's fast, you can always go back. That's why we're doing it here on YouTube, so that the video will remain anytime along the line. You can come back and read and check on it. Okay, so follow the back end guy. If he was fast, you can go back to the video after the class and learn. Okay, let me know if you have any question in the comment section. If you don't have any question, um, if you have any question, post on the chat group. If you don't have any question, that's just to tell me that you're not following me, because you have to have a question. Okay, no matter how small. So thank you guys. Bye. And this is the end of this live stream. Thank you all for joining. See you on Wednesday for the back end class, or better still, on Saturday for an extension of the front end class. Love you all, and thank you for joining the stream. Bye.